Untitled.com presents.
Back in 1983, games weren't much scarier than this. True Dracula for the Intellivision game system was pretty tame, though hey, who doesn't want to play as a vampire with a mouth like Pac-Man? Cool. Over a quarter century later, games have come a long way in thrills, graphics, and especially the story. In the spirit of Halloween, ask yourself, what has been the spookiest, scariest, or downright creepiest moments in game history? Here's the sort of moment I'm talking about. Shut off all the lights, put on your favorite headphones, then play your favorite game when this scene happens. Keep in mind, creepy doesn't necessarily mean the bloodiest game, the most M for mature game, or even a game of the year. These are the simple moments when games tried to creep us out, in a good way. Yeah, I know, this list is a very tough call, since some people are scared of just about anything.
A toy robot!
So the following list is bound to be very controversial. As always, that's what makes it a good list. I'm Steve for TechTight's Top 10 Creepiest Game Moments.
Number 10.
What was the first creepy game moment ever? That's up to interpretation, though for me, the first game that really creeped me out, in a good way, was The Lurking Horror. Made by one of the co-creators of Zork, few games have ever been as enjoyably thrilling, chilling, or downright creepy as The Lurking Horror. Heck, even opening the box held a surprise. Mentioned on the game box was the included replica of a student ID card and freshman guidebook. What was not mentioned on the box was a rubber critter hidden in the box, which gave some gamers an initial jump when they quickly emptied the box's contents onto their computer desk. Yet what made this game so fun was how elaborate your options were in the game. If you wanted to look closely at that nearby monster, you could. If you wanted to touch the monster and see what would happen, you could. If you wanted to be daring and bite the monster, you could. Any fan of Clive Barker, H.P. Lovecraft, or Stephen King should go blow the dust off an old Apple IIe computer and give this game a good look. After all, it's the first creepy game ever!
Number 9.
While the first Elvira game was pretty good, Elvira 2 was a masterpiece of creepy gaming. Seriously. One important object is in a fish tank filled with piranha, while another important object appears to be in plain view, only to have a small guillotine chop off your hand when you try to grab it. Ouch. While some games would follow up losing your hand with a quick game over screen, this game would taunt you into actually trying to complete the game with a stub for a hand. Yet none of that matters when trying to finish the insect level, including, wait for it, the creepiest spider in game history. Seriously. Not only was this spider creepy to look at, he was nearly impossible to defeat, and if you did try to fight him, he'd eat you in about 2 giant bites. While many game characters try to be scary, nearly all of them can be defeated somehow, yet every walkthrough for Elvira 2 has the same suggestion when it comes to this giant spider. Run. And everyone who ever played Elvira 2 knows why.
Number 8.
As always, each top 10 list can only include one game per each game series. After 5 Resident Evil games and a number of spin-offs, it's not a question of if these games made the list, but which one. If you ask me, you have to salute the original game that started it all. Why? It was one of the first games that actually surprised me. Here's the scene I'm talking about. Jill Valentine enters a seemingly abandoned room. She looks at the desk and reads the diary of a victim of the dreaded T-virus. Page after page describes how this poor guy started to lose his hair, then his health, then his sanity. Gee, the poor guy. I wonder whatever happened to him. Let me tell you something. This zombie coming out of the closet made every gamer jump out of their seat when they first played Resident Evil. And if they didn't, they probably had a walkthrough that spoiled the surprise. Sure, there have been many creepy moments in Resident Evil history that could fill a list all on their own. Yet back in the day, Resident Evil 1 was unlike any game ever seen before. The only remaining question, what was that zombie doing in the closet? Perhaps it's best we never know.
Number 7.
Forget the newest Alone in the Dark game and the crappy movie. No, seriously, forget both of those. Because the original Alone in the Dark video game was a revolution in thriller gaming. Seriously, there was nothing bad about this game. Well, okay, yeah, the graphics look pretty dated. Though at the time, this was one of the first polygon games ever attempted. And these primitive polygons somehow made every moment of this game perfectly creepy. The weird bird-dog creatures that crash through the windows. The ghosts that turn into killer swarms if you get too close. And how about the cool, victorious way each zombie disappears into a puff of smoke whenever you defeat them? Awesome. Honestly, I just can't choose one creepy moment of this game to salute. So why not salute the author of the many books that this game was based on? H.P. Lovecraft. While many people might overlook all the text and books and novels and notebooks in a game and stick to the action alone, you just have to love the Lovecraft elements of the original Alone in the Dark. One might even wonder why none of the later games in the Alone in the Dark series were as good. Well, maybe it's because all the later games ignored the H.P. Lovecraft elements of the original game entirely. Gee, do you think?
Number 6.
Love or hate the GameCube, very few games on that system ever deserved a mature rating. And then there was Eternal Darkness. While some games try to be creepy with sounds and graphics, this game's creepiness can be summarized in 2 words: sanity meter. Little by little, the creepiness of this game gets to your character, and when that happens, anything can happen. Sure, the volume gets louder and the action gets bloodier, yet the weirdness doesn't end there. One moment your character seemingly loses their head for no reason, only to walk around headless. Yikes. Yet how many games have the guts to actually taunt the player into thinking that a glitch just erased their memory card? Then again, what's truly creepy is how Nintendo actually patented the idea of the so-called sanity meter, only to never use it again. Why is that, Nintendo? A question to ponder as we get to the halfway point of this list. That's it for part 1 of this YouTube video. Be sure to check for part 2 for the rest of the list. Or, for the complete reviews of these games, go to techdike.com, now celebrating 10 years online.